And welcome to our daily report here on UGA Football News on Facebook and Instagram. Today's sports report. Chris Hall with you. And we dip in here. We will be doing this throughout the week unless something untoward happens, as they say, at 7 o'clock, just to give you a little report because we are counting down to the biggest game of the year for University of Georgia football fans. And that, of course, is the national championship game, which will be next Monday night. And nothing really a whole lot new to talk about as far as the game is concerned. You know, the teams are practicing, and pretty soon you'll get reports ad nauseum about this team has um, made it to Indianapolis and that team and that kind of thing. So really nothing new to report. The teams are continuing to progress in their preparations for the game on Monday. How you doing, Moose? Oh, and the basketball game, Georgia's basketball game, I suppose. So let me give you. Here's the thing. You know, sometimes we talk about the game, and by the way, I have my G hat on tonight. I caused a little stir with my Atlanta Braves hat on last night. Many people interpreted the A on the Braves hat of being the Alabama A, but you got to learn the distinction now. The Braves have, they have that italicized A. Alabama does too, but they have a little mohawk on, who knows, a little thing, a little jot or a tittle or whatever you want to call it on their A. So, but I'm back to wearing my G hat tonight. So here's the thing. Now, Monday, here's the game. This Monday, January 10th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana. That's where the Colts play in Indiana. The game is on ESPN and ESPN Plus. Right now, the latest odds still have Georgia holding at a 2-point favorite over Alabama. So there you go. That is the statistics, and that's where we're headed next Monday. Not a whole lot to report from either side today, just regular old stuff. I did see a lot of news reports about 5 Bulldogs who need to do really good Monday, and yeah, 4 Alabama players that need to show up and that kind of thing. And to be honest with you, you know, I Ira says it's 3 points now on ESPN. Okay, okay, well that's it's been bouncing around a little bit, but the projection is that as we get closer to the game, the odds will get closer to the game. And yeah, well, hey, Miss Stephanie, how are you? As we get closer, the odds will get closer, and the projection is that Alabama may eventually, anyway, being maybe the favorite in the game, and that may be that may be all right. So here, but we do have some news for the University of Georgia. Kind of interesting news. Don't know if this is going to come to fruition. Don't know if it's going to happen. But news out today about the transfer portal, which is completely, basically now college football players can become free agents. They can enter the transfer portal and they can transfer to a school from one school to another and they can play immediately. The transfer now, the NCAA hates this. The big boys at the big palace at the NCAA, yeah, they hate the transfer portal, but it is a thing. It's kind of the product of the pandemic now, and so it's going to. Johnny says, "Go dogs! Good luck to you." Absolutely. Um, so it's a thing. Bill Davis, go dogs! Yes, sir. But kind of an interesting report today about the transfer portal. Where a player can say, "Well, I don't want to play with this my team anymore. I want to enter into the portal." And I want to play for another team. Oklahoma quarterback Caleb Williams. Spencer Rattler was the starter for the University of Oklahoma at the beginning of the seasons. Rattler had some issues and some troubles, and didn't really play that well. And then Caleb Williams, his backup, came in to play for Spencer Rattler, and he took over as the starting quarterback for Oklahoma. Had a pretty good season, pretty good season. It's kind of interesting, You have you have a turnover now with um, the coach at the University of Oklahoma, Brent Venables, is now the head football coach at the University of Oklahoma after Lincoln Riley went to USC. And so you had Spencer Rattler. He entered into the transfer portal, and he's now going to the University of South Carolina University. Big pickup for the Gamecocks. Spencer Rattler is still a pretty good quarterback, and so that was a pretty good pickup for South Carolina. And also their tight end, a tight end for the University of Oklahoma, went into the transfer portal, and they are transferring as well to South Carolina. Well, completely kind of catching everyone by surprise, including the folks at Oklahoma, is the fact that thank you, Tracy. Yeah, I like it too. Um, is the fact that Caleb Williams has now entered into the transfer portal. So Oklahoma has their top two quarterbacks in the transfer portal. Now, a lot of this has to do with the fact that Lincoln Riley, their head coach, is now gone, and you got Brent Venables coming in from Clemson to be the head football coach at Oklahoma. Anyway, Oklahoma quarterback Caleb Williams announced he's entering the transfer portal on Monday. He's considering other schools, and a new report indicates that his top destination on the list of the schools that he would like to go to and play for is the University of Georgia. Interesting. Williams, here's the report. Williams is eyeing Georgia as a potential transfer destination. According to Blake Brockmeyer of 247 Sports, the Bulldogs are considered to be the top landing spot for Caleb Williams, the Oklahoma quarterback. Georgia, according to this report, has a quarterback need in 2022. Stetson Bennett is a senior. Now, I think technically Stetson Bennett can actually come back for another year, that super senior kind of thing. And I think basically Stetson could come back. JT Daniels is a junior, but, he hasn't convinced the Bulldogs, according to this study, that he is the answer for their starting quarterback. Okay, I'm just telling you what I'm being told. So Caleb Williams now is a potentially looking at the University of Georgia as the destination, as he has entered into the transfer portal, which would be kind of interesting, would it not? That you would have Caleb Williams, kind of a dual threat quarterback. What would we do with a top quarterback? Oh yeah, we we have plenty on the bench. I know. Listen, Tracy, I understand. I understand. That's a lot of this discussion. Why not follow his former coach to USC? Interesting, unless it's all about the money. Well, I don't know about that. But here's the thing. Now, Williams did say he's open to coming back to Oklahoma. And none of this, Caleb Williams hadn't sat down and said, "Well, I'm looking at Georgia as my top destination, to transfer to." This is just speculation, and supposedly people who know are saying that that's what Caleb is saying. But it is kind of interesting. He has entered into the transfer portal. Caleb Williams, the starting quarterback for Oklahoma, and he's eyeing Georgia. So and now here's the quarterback room for the University of Georgia currently. And we'll go down in alphabetical order. Carson Beck, a freshman, redshirt freshman. Stetson Bennett, senior. JT Daniels, junior. Colin Drake, a freshman from Ennis, Tennessee, which Texas rather. I'm sorry. I think he's a walk-on kind of guy or something. A preferred walk-on or something. Austin Kirksey, sophomore from Marietta, Georgia. Yeah, he's a quarterback and he's on the roster for the University of Georgia. Jackson Muschamp, freshman from Columbia, South Carolina. Will Muschamp's son, of course. Nathan Priestley, quarterback, sophomore from Los Angeles, California. And Brock Vandergriff, 6'3", 205-pound freshman quarterback, Bogart, Georgia. And you have Gunnar Stockton, um, signed for the University of Georgia. Now that's a lot of quarterbacks. That's a pretty good quarterback room as well. So, and then you add Caleb Williams. Brian says, I doubt he will land at Georgia. Vanderbilt, Brock Vandergriff may be gone, and I've seen that as well. I've seen that as well. So that Vandergriff is seriously considering the transfer portal. It's hard to keep these guys, all of them there. And Brian, you're right. I have seen that report. I like Vandergriff. I got to be honest with you. He's a large young man. He is a dual threat quarterback. He can run. He can throw. I really like Brock Vandergriff. So I don't know. Caleb Williams is considering coming to the University of Georgia. Now, I also saw a report, and I'm trying to get my stuff together here, that with Williams also, there is the possibility, and I think this guy has entered into the transfer portal, wide receiver for Oklahoma, Mario Williams. And the speculation is that he would be a good fit at Georgia. He's a four-star wide receiver during the 2021 cycle. Fourth leading wideout for Oklahoma. He had 35 catches, 380 yards, 4 touchdowns. He averaged, he averaged, I'm trying to see, 10.86 yards a catch, played in 12 of the Sooners' 13 games. Kind of a Kyrus Jackson kind of guy. Not really a huge kind of receiver, but very good, a very good receiver. And he had 5 catches for 100 yards and a score against Texas Tech. He's 5'9", 186 pounds. He's a kind of a slippery kind of dude, and a pretty good, wide receiver, freshman wide receiver. So you have Caleb Williams and Mario. You have Caleb Williams and Mario Williams, the Williams guys from Oklahoma, entering into the transfer portal, and could be looking at the University of Georgia. So stay tuned. But the quarterback situation, oh boy, it has been a topic of discussion among University of Georgia football fans, obviously, since Jake Fromm and Justin Fields, and then you got the situation this year with Bennett and JT Daniels, and so it continues to be a subject of discussion. So anyway, I thought we would bring that to you, and and kind of let you talk, give you some information on that. Nothing really new on the game. They're practicing and they're getting ready, and one other thing they're trying to do is they're trying to stay away from the COVID. NCAA says there'll be no rescheduling the game. If one team can't play, the other team is automatically the winner of the game. That's what they say. So Alabama and Georgia are doing everything they can to contain the squad and, amongst the squad itself, limiting the exposure of the squad to try to keep um, uh, their players from contracting COVID, which would knock them out of the game. And, if you lose so many players and don't have enough. Now, I have had seen no reports of anybody with COVID on either roster. So far, so good. We want the game to be played. Pablo, do you think we're going to use Washington more? I love him. I love Darnell Washington. He is a huge. Now you got Brock Bowers. Okay, you got Brock Bowers. Um, and okay. Brian says I am wrong. Well, it could be. Yeah, they could have changed that. I know at one time the NCAA was kind of like snippy about the thing. Oh, they will postpone it. Well, very good. For 4 days if it happened. Well, let's pray it doesn't happen. Oh, thank you, Brian. I hadn't seen that report. I know at one time the NCAA was very snippy, and they said, "No, yeah, you know, you don't show up, you're going to lose." Oh, after days, the game will be canceled. Well, Let's just hope that's a moot point. Somebody sent me a couple of questions, and they said, what do you think about this? And very simple questions. Why can't Georgia beat Alabama? Georgia has lost to Alabama 7 straight games dating back for 2007. And so why can't Georgia beat Alabama? Well, Georgia can beat Alabama. Georgia can. Um, and so Georgia can beat Alabama. Georgia has just as much talent as the University of Alabama. Um, and is it a psychological thing? Does Alabama intimidate Georgia? I don't think so whatsoever. You know, I think Georgia can. It just hasn't happened in 7 straight games. You can go through all of those games, and Georgia was in most of them, and then things happen. Georgia can beat Alabama. They're just as talented as Alabama, and so I don't think it's a psychological thing. I think these kids, most the guys that are playing against Alabama, they were not here in 2007, so it's not a thing with them for that. So Georgia can beat Alabama. And the second question, what will Georgia do differently against Alabama? I think Georgia just has to play better. They have to play a Michigan-like game. If they like they played against Michigan, if they play like in the coming game, like they did against Alabama in the SEC championship game, which was kind of like a flop all the way around, then Georgia's in trouble. But if Georgia would just play their game, just be cool and play their game, defense tough, offense efficient, they certainly have a chance to win the game. When do our dogs travel to Indy? I think Thursday. I think what I saw was Thursday. It may be Friday. I don't know. We'll have to check on that. Actually they're a little. They keep to they keep those kind of things close to the vest. Tracy says we're going to win Monday night. I'm with you, Tracy. Frank, why 9 yards for Pickett in a game that was never close? Second half was low scoring. I think, I don't think Pickens is 100% yet, and he was a little snippy today about what he considered to be, a little dirty block, I guess, um, from Michigan. Yeah, he was a little snippy today about that. He accused Michigan of maybe doing something they shouldn't have done. Georgia trying to be fancy in the SEC championship. That's true. That's true. Brian says the Georgia Bulldogs will arrive Friday evening, late Friday evening. So that'll give them Saturday and Sunday to play. Then the game on Monday. So there you go. All right. So we have really nothing new, nothing new, but just wanted to jump in there, give you that report about the transfer portal. We'll be keeping our eyes on all the stuff that's going on with the University of Georgia. By the way, tickets are a hot commodity. And you know our spike guys, the those guys in the stands that dress up in all that red and black stuff, our guys, our guys, the cameras are always focusing in on. They're trying to raise money. There's 16 of them. I didn't know there were 16 of them. But anyway, they're trying to raise and there's an effort trying to raise money to get those guys to Indianapolis. So I don't know. I hope they do. There you go. I'm going to enjoy it in the comfort of my recliner, and I'll be coaching the entire game. So there you go. Let's see what we got here. Oh, my sister and brother-in-law are going to the game. Yeah. Wow. There you go. Yeah, if Georgia wins, we're gonna just stay there. We're gonna camp out. There you go. Oh, I'm a little jealous too that they get to go, to the game as well. Can we get Kirby more money? There are bonuses that are, included in his and this is standard bonuses that are included in his contract, like a standard coach's contract that if you win the Eastern Division, you get so much money extra. If you, go to the SEC championship game, you win it, you get so much. You win a bowl game, you get so much. If you win the national championship, we call the Brinks truck. I don't know the details of what Kirby Smart's um, contract is and what will be coming his way as bonuses for the success that Georgia has had and, the fact that they're in the a national championship game. But he will be well compensated, and you could hear about, a raise coming up. Actually, I don't Kirby Smart is kind of moderately paid, from what I understand, as opposed to a lot of coaches in, with similar institutions and, that are in conferences and things to University of Georgia. So Kirby's kind of moderately paid, a middle of the pack kind of thing. But I'm sure if he wins, then it's he'll some change will be coming his way. 22 for a high in Indianapolis, 7 for a low. Yeah, I'm glad they're playing in a dome. I am with you. I was reading somewhere somebody suggested, and I don't know if this person has any influence or not. He's probably somebody like me that has absolutely no influence. But somebody suggested, look, let's play the national championship game every year at the Rose Bowl. And I didn't like that idea. No, you could play it every year in Atlanta if you wanted to, but I mean, but his suggestion was, okay, let's play it on the same day every year at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. But I don't, he was probably a guy from California. All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for us. God bless you all. Hope you had a good day today. We're counting down the days till the national championship game. Thank you for jumping in here. We appreciate Southeast Mortgage, the official home loan lender of the Georgia Bulldogs, for helping us to produce our program, today's sports report on UGA Football News on Facebook and Instagram. Will JT get in the game? Um, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think JT would be interested in coming in the game with like 2 minutes left and Georgia's way ahead or way behind. I don't think JT would be interested in that, to be honest with you. I hope he's not forced into coming into the game because of an injury to Stetson Bennett. We certainly don't want that to happen. Um, and if JT Daniels plays, it means that Georgia's having trouble offensively. So I like JT. He's a good guy. He's a super guy. He's been a good teammate, but it might be the best thing. It might be the best thing for him not to play because then that will signal that Georgia is doing okay. But that's just me. Gary says we better put the pedal to the metal. I agree with you, Gary. I agree with you 100%. Need to hit the ground running. All right, guys. Have a good night. Happy New Year to you. Pray you're having a good New Year. We'll be back here tomorrow night. if we have anything new. If we don't, we'll just talk. We enjoy our times together. Until then, again, thank you to Southeast Mortgage, the official home loan lender of the Georgia Bulldogs, for making our programs possible. You can check them out, southeastmortgage.com/UJA, anytime that you need any kind of help in purchasing a home. Those guys are absolutely fantastic, and they will help you, and we appreciate their support. Until then, our final words. Until tomorrow night, our final words. Go dog. Wait a minute. Somebody says, wait a minute. My producer says, hang on. What do you think we're going to do to stop CBS 50-50 balls champion? They were. Yeah. Okay. Well, Frank, I got you. I got you. We just need to do good. We just catch the ball, run the ball, go. There you go. We just need to do good. All right, guys, we got to run. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Until then, go Dogs.